We are in the middle of a global 100-year pandemic, the highest unemployment since 1948, which is the first year that unemployment was tracked under the modern system, the largest nationwide protests that we've seen in a very long time, these over police brutality, and one of the highest numbers of horrifying police brutality incidents that this country has seen in such a short period of time in decades. And Donald Trump set a new record for himself, sending out 200 tweets and retweets in a single day on Friday. The president cannot lead, and instead he's tweeting from behind his bunker. Factbase, which track this, tweeted, "We're wrapping the day at 200 tweets for Donald Trump, most for the account ever, period. At 468 tweets, it's the most in a week for Trump during his presidency, and 74 tweets between 8 and 9 a.m., the most in an hour ever." As you can see there, if you're looking at the chart along with me, June 5th, surpassing January 22nd, with 200 total tweets and retweets, the most of any day during Donald Trump's presidency. Donald Trump is now tweeting, by the way, from behind 2 miles of fencing and barricades, much of it installed over the last week as Bunker Boy, as many are calling him, further isolates himself from reality. So there are about 5 or 6 different relevant layers here. First of all, I'm not president of the United States. I just have this show. I don't have time to tweet nearly 200 times in a day. On a day where I tweet a lot, where I feel like I probably tweeted too much today, I might tweet 15 times, maybe if I do a bunch of retweets, maybe 20 times. And I'm not president of the United States. That's the first story. Secondly, this day, Friday, included 74 tweets in an hour between 8 and 9 a.m. Eastern time. That is more than a tweet per hour, a tweet per minute for an entire hour. That is an unhealthy level of social media use, which raises further questions on its own. Number 3, again, we're in the middle of a global 100-year pandemic, highest unemployment since 1948, huge nationwide protests, huge police brutality issues, and Donald Trump sets a record for himself, tweeting and retweeting 200 times in a single day. That doesn't make sense. We need a leader who can lead and do things. Now, some of you will say, well, Trump can't lead, so we're better off with him just sitting around tweeting. But the tweets are actually doing damage. It's not like the tweets are neutral. He's still doing damage by tweeting. Number 4, Trump just got done attacking Twitter, and he's using it more than ever. Why not get away from Twitter if Twitter is treating him so terribly? Because he simply can't. And that gets us to the clinical aspects of this. I spoke to a couple of mental health professionals over the weekend, and they all had a similar version of the same thing to say, which is essentially that Donald Trump's behavior, as we now see it on Twitter, is compulsive and obsessive. And it's a sort of decompensation of sorts. His behavior is the type of behavior that, you know, if your coworker at Best Buy is behaving this way, if your coworker at an accounting firm is behaving this way, you'd probably go and talk to HR and say, something's not right here. It's manic behavior. It's compulsive behavior. You might have some kind of an intervention. There might be a psychiatric evaluation done at a certain point. That's the type of behavior that we're seeing from Donald Trump. Now, one last thing. You might have noticed that I didn't go through and read individual tweets of Donald Trump during this segment, and there's no shortage of tweets that I could have read. We are past the significance of any one of Donald Trump's tweets in general. Now, if Donald Trump tweets something that's specifically newsworthy or actionable, if it relates to some new policy that his administration is going to be rolling out, if it's a direct attack on an ally, if there's some kind of particular relevance, I will tell you what the content of Trump's tweets is. But what happened on Friday, 200 tweets and retweets, it's just erratic behavior. And I don't want to glorify or lend credence to any one message that Trump sent by actually reading the tweets. You know, it was a combination of lies and smears and attacks and bragging, self-congratulation, retweeting right-wing trash and conspiracy theories. That's what it was. That's the summary. The individual tweets really were irrelevant. They didn't communicate any particular policy. They were mostly smears of other people. So I am not going to give them more credibility or attention than they need, other than to point out 200 tweets in a day is bonkers. And this is the president of the United States. That is where we will leave it. And certainly, if Trump does actually tweet something relevant to policy, I will tell you what it is. Fear not. One of our sponsors is privacy.com. They're giving you $5 when you sign up for their completely free service at privacy.com/Pakman. I've been using Privacy for a little over a year now. You've heard me talk about it before. It's a lifesaver, and here's how it works. Takes just a couple of minutes to set up. Anytime you buy something online or on the phone, instead of actually using your real credit card number, the Privacy app and the browser plugin let you give each company a randomized virtual credit card number that you create out of thin air. It'll even autofill the card number with one click. And the payment is taken out of your checking account without the merchant ever knowing your real information. So this allows you to keep your banking information secure, but also to take control of your finances. You can create up to 12 of these virtual credit cards a month. You can set spending limits. You can freeze them. You can delete them anytime you want. So when you do this, it means you're not going to be charged when you don't want to be, because you can destroy the virtual card number right after using it, which, for instance, I love using free trials because I know I won't be charged when the trial is over if I use a virtual credit card number. You're keeping your identity private by not telling companies who you are. You're keeping your bank or credit card info protected against data breaches and identity theft. And it's free. There's no catch whatsoever. But if you want, Privacy also offers a $10 a month plan that gives you 1% cash back and lets you create 36 credit cards a month, and a $25 a month plan tailored more for small businesses where you can create 60 card numbers a month and much more. But definitely go ahead and at least get started with the free plan. You'll protect your financial info. Companies can't charge you unexpectedly. And like I said, you'll get $5 to spend when you sign up at privacy.com/Pakman.